Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. We will just wait for everybody to get into the webinar. So we'll give it another 30 seconds, minute or so, just for everybody to filter in. Whilst we're waiting for the last few people to join, how about we test the chat function? So those of you that are studying with us this summer, or if you're a parent and you're joining, please drop into the chat what subject you are taking with us this summer, just so we can test the chat function and have a read of what everybody is studying whilst we wait a few more minutes just for people to join. Excellent. So I can see Slaveta, we have psychology, technology, business and entrepreneurship, international relations, computer science, medicine, another medicine, English literature, innovation, technology, business, arts and humanities, architecture, law, chemistry, biotechnology and genetics. Excellent, a good range of subjects there. That's wonderful to see. Perfect. Well, we can say that the chat function works then. We've got lots of subjects there that people are studying, which is excellent to see, a wide range. Physics. Perfect. Well, I think that's long enough to wait for people to join. I can see a few more following in. It's amazing to see the numbers are still rising. We have currently 232 people joining this webinar, which is absolutely wonderful. It's your chance to have some sort of direct contact with us before you get on your course and have the final checks webinar that we're about to deliver. So it's 2 minutes past, so I think everybody's in. So let's get going. So welcome everybody to Oxford Summer Course's Final Checks webinar. And as it says on the slide there, your course is just around the corner. For some of you that are in this webinar, you'll be joining us on the 23rd of June, which is less than 2 weeks away. So it's very exciting. And at the head office of Oxford Summer Courses in Oxford, just down the road from Worcester College, we're all working very hard to make sure that the final preparations are well underway for those students arriving in 2 weeks. But for those students that are arriving a little later into the summer, you've still got some time yet, but don't worry. If you do have any questions, you can always drop us a message and we're more than happy to help. So let's get going. So this is myself. I am Ben. I am the Student Services Manager. I've been with Oxford Summer Courses since March of 2023. But prior to this, I was still within the Oxford Summer Courses family. I worked for their sister company, Melio Education, and I was the digital operations manager there over at Melio for around about 2 years. Prior to Oxford Summer Courses and Melio Education, I've worked for several summer schools before. I started working for summer schools when I was only 15, so I would spend my summer holidays working in summer schools, coaching sports, and I did this every single summer throughout college, throughout university. And then when I left university, I have a real big passion for skiing. So I went and moved out in the winters to France and to Spain. And I worked in some beautiful ski resorts in the Spanish Pyrenees and the French Alps. But I would always return in the summer back to my summer schools, and I'd always work managing those summer schools before transitioning out of spending my winters skiing and now working for summer schools full time. My role with Oxford Summer Courses, I am responsible for leading the student services team. So hopefully a lot of you that have been calling in and sending emails to us, you've already had an email from myself. Within the student services team, you also have 2 colleagues of mine, Namrata and Noor, that are also answering your queries. And our role in the student services team is to answer any questions that you may have about your course, but also ensure you've got the information that we need you to have prior to starting your course. And also for Oxford Summer Courses, gather that information from you, that important information that we need to make sure that we can deliver the best course possible and we keep you safe whilst on the course. So what to expect from this webinar, we will run through what we need from you. So the final bits of information that we need from you, what you will receive from us, what you already have received from us. And then I'll run through some top tips for travel, some top tips to make the most of your course. And also we'll have a questions and answer section at the end where you can pop questions into the chat, and I'll do my very best to whiz through all of those and answer those questions. So what do we need from you? Hopefully the majority of you, I said earlier there was 230 odd, there's now 282 participants in this webinar. So hopefully the majority of you are already familiar and have already submitted your student profile form, your travel form and your medical form. If you haven't, it's really, really, really important you log into your student portal and you submit these forms. We're not just asking you to submit these forms because we like forms. They're really important for us. So the student profile form, we take this form and we give it directly to the tutor. In the form, you tell us what you hope to gain from the course, what your sort of background in the subject is. The tutor then uses this information based off all of the student profile forms in their class, and they build the course syllabus. So unless you submit this information, the tutor doesn't know what you want to learn and what you've already learned. So it's really hard for them to create a really exciting and interesting syllabus for you. I'm not aware of any other summer school that do this. It seems to be something only unique to Oxford Summer Courses. So it's really important to have a bespoke summer school syllabus that's tailored to your interests. The travel form, this tells us all of your arrival information, your departure information, and it's also the only way that you can book the complimentary transfer. So even if you're not taking the complimentary transfer, you still need to submit the travel form just to tell us when you expect to get to the course location, just so that we're not sat around worrying, not knowing what's happening when you're going to get there. We know that you said you're going to be there at, say, 4 o'clock. And now the medical form, if I was to pick which one was the most important from a sort of student safety perspective, it would be the medical form. It tells us all of your dietary and medical information. So it helps us ensure that we have the food for you, that we have a diet that for food that you can eat if you're lactose intolerant, or you have a gluten intolerance, or maybe for religious reasons, you need to eat a vegetarian diet. That's absolutely fine. But if we don't know, we can't ensure that we have this food prepared for you. So the dietary requirements are really important. And then also the medical information. We need to obviously know if any students have any medical conditions that we need to be aware of. You need to take any medication, and maybe you need us to store that medication safely for you. So your medical form is really important. And also on there is the next of kin information. So there will be 2 spaces where you can complete 2 next of kins. And essentially this is just in case of emergencies, we have a contact of someone to call and to inform them that there's been an emergency. And then finally, something on there that some of you maybe aren't familiar with is the pre-arrival survey. So this went live on your Oxford Summer Courses Foundations course 2 days ago. We've already had great responses on there. It's really important to me. It's really close to my heart, the pre-arrival survey. It basically allows you to give some feedback about the process so far. So the admissions process and the process of onboarding with student services. If you've had a great experience, then we really want to hear. You can put a name in there of someone that really gave you excellent service. Or if something hasn't quite been okay and you would think it should be better for future years, that's equally important for us. I will be reading through all of the pre-arrival surveys and making sure that we are taking on board all of your feedback for future years to make the process better for years to come. So hopefully this page is very familiar to all of you. So this is your student portal. For those of you that maybe were wondering what I was talking about with the forms, this is where you submit your student profile form, your travel form, and your medical form. Now, when you first log in, if you haven't already submitted your student profile form, that will be the only form that you're able to access. It's the one that we need first, just so we can give that information to the tutor to go away and create your syllabus. So you would log into the student portal, click that orange box for the profile form, and then from there you complete that form. Once you submit it, the travel form and the medical form will then become available for you, and you can submit those forms with the relevant information. Also on the student portal, if you go to the My Documents section, you will have your student welcome pack and your student handbook, and you can also request your visa support letter if you need it. So the student portal, you need to have your login for that all set up. There's a new feature that's coming on there that I'll touch on in a few more slides. So if you don't have your student portal set up, drop us an email to Student Services and we'll be able to help you get set up. If you're having any issues with the forms, again, don't hesitate to get in contact with us, but please, please, please make sure these forms are all submitted before you get on the course. Ideally, if there are 280 odd people in this room and none of you submitted the forms by the end of this week, just so we've got all that information and we can start making plans. If we don't have this information, we end up getting and then calling you and emailing you trying to get this information, and it can be a pain for both yourselves and us that we have to chase you for it. So please, please, please submit this information as soon as possible. Oh, too many. So what you will receive from us. So all of you, absolutely all of you, all students, all parents, on the start date of the course, you will receive the course director's phone number. So you'll get an email from us at around about 5 o'clock UK time that basically just says, hello, welcome onto the course. If you have any queries during your time with us, here's the number you can call. Now, the course director will be in charge of the course itself, and they will remain on the course site for the duration of the course. So at any point, if you want to just have as a parent, how is my child doing? You can call that course director number. Or if you're a parent and you're in the area, maybe you came over for a holiday and you want to take your child out for an evening meal, you obviously need to just give us a heads up that this is what you want to do, so we can make sure that it doesn't conflict with any element of the program. So you would text or call the course director's phone number and just ask if you can take your son or daughter out of the college. By all means, you can still contact us in student services, but if there is something that it's to do with your child at the course, all we are going to have to do is call that course director to get that information. So it just means you can go straight to that source of information and hear it, as we say in the UK, straight from the horse's mouth. Arrival instructions. So very importantly, for some of you that are joining us on the 23rd of June and the 30th of June, sorry, you will have already received this email. So it's based on the answers that you submit on your travel form. So if you on your travel form book a complimentary transfer, you will receive the airport transfer manager's phone number and instructions of what to do when you land at London Heathrow. The instructions are very clear. It's all listed out for you. And there is also a PDF attached with a photo of the Oxford Summer Courses uniform, so you know exactly what to look for when you land at Heathrow Airport. If you are making your own way to the course, so you've selected on the travel form that you don't need a transfer and you were making your own way, your parents or guardians will be dropping you off, you will be given the exact arrival location. So we have a Google Maps link, and we've dropped a pin exactly where you need to arrive, and you'll also get the course director's phone number. So you guys will get that number a little bit sooner, but you will also still get that email on the course start date. And then finally, on the travel form, if you have submitted that you need a complimentary transfer and the unaccompanied minor service, you will get the name and the number of the individual that is responsible for collecting you from the airline. Now, some of you have been in contact and said that you need this information already from us. We will have given you placeholder details. It was my details that we gave you previously. I will not be at the airport to collect you from the airline. So no later than 2 weeks before the course start date, you will be sent who it is that it will be gathering you from the airline on your arrival date. It's really important that you update these details with the airline. Otherwise, when one of my colleagues at the airport goes to collect you and they don't look like Ben Tomlinson, the airline won't allow us to collect that student. So it's really important that you update that. So for any unaccompanied minors arriving on the 23rd or the 30th, you will have already had those details sent to you. And for the later weeks, you'll get that no later than 2 weeks before your course start date. So I know it's a little bit unfair to be talking about departure information before you've even arrived with us, but for some of you that are really organized, you'll already be starting to make preparations for your departure. So during your check-in at the course location, you will be asked to confirm your contact details, your next of kin details, your dietary requirements, your medical conditions, and also your departure details. It's just a case of, if you've already submitted the travel form and the medical form, going through, making sure it's all correct, there's not been any changes, and then ticking to say that it's all correct. Once we have that, and you've confirmed it's correct, we, the head office team, can take all of your departure information, know that it's trustworthy and there's been no last minute changes, and then we will be able to go away and organize your transfers. If you have booked a complimentary transfer, we will go away and book those transfers for you. And if you have booked the unaccompanied minor service, we will go away and match you with a team member at the airport to be able to help you with that unaccompanied minor service, sign any details or any forms with the airline and then remain in the airport until your flight takes off. It's really important that we get the confirmed departure information as soon as possible, because it obviously takes us some time to go through and organize all of your departure transfers. So the sooner we get that confirmation from you, the sooner we can confirm all of the transfers, and the sooner we can tell you that you will be leaving on the Saturday, the final Saturday, at say 9 o'clock in the morning, if you're just taking the complimentary transfer. If you are an unaccompanied minor, it will be a case of you are leaving at 9 o'clock in the morning, and Leonie will be assisting you at the airport. Here is her phone number. When you arrive at the airport, she will be already outside the terminal. If you can't see her, just give her a call. She will come and meet you and take you inside to go through the unaccompanied minors process with the airline. Again, when we share with unaccompanied minors the details of who will be helping you at the airport, it's really important, if you've used placeholder details, that you update this with the airline, just so that they are aware of who is dropping you off. There is really good security with the unaccompanied minors process to safeguard against child trafficking. So it all sorts of has to link. Whoever you say will be dropping off and collecting for both legs has to be the person. So when we give you the correct details, you must update this with the airline. So what else will you receive from us? So when you arrive on course, you will be given a backpack, a pen, and a notebook. So you can use your backpack to carry all of your course materials, maybe handouts from the tutor, and also a waterproof, which I will touch on in the next slides as to why that's important. But you may wish to bring more pens and felt tips to help with your studies if you want. That's absolutely fine. You can bring a pencil case, but you can throw it all in your backpack, your Oxford Summer Courses backpack, and you also have your notebook there as well to help you with your classes. You will get an Oxford Summer Courses lanyard that looks just like this. So it will have Oxford Summer Courses around the outside of it, and it will also have your name on the front. It's really important that when you're on course, you always, always, always have your lanyard on. It's not just because we think they're really cool. It's because we need to be able to easily identify who is our student and who is maybe a member of staff at the university. You will notice at the university or at the college, all of the staff are wearing lanyards. They wear Oxford University lanyards or Harrow School lanyards. So it's really important just for safety that you wear these lanyards. And you can also maybe on the back write your course director or your course leader's phone number on there, just in case your phone dies and you need to contact someone in an emergency. So I said there was a new feature coming to the student portal. This is the student network. So it was previously referred to as the Bridgemark network. It's the student network, and this is an old-fashioned forum style way of communicating. So what will happen? Every student that is on your course, so not just your subject, on your course, so all of the subjects at that location that are being delivered on that date, you will be added to a group and a forum, so you'll be able to chat with your peers before you arrive on course. Now, this feature is currently in its final bit of testing. We obviously have some moderation that we're putting in there because we don't just want to allow you to be able to send anything. So there's a little bit of moderation that is going on in the background at the moment, but once that goes live, you will see on your student portal, you will have a My Network section, and we will send you an email when that's gone live, so you can log in and start messaging all of your course mates before you arrive on course. And we estimate that this will go live within the next week or so. And now you should also get a greeting from your tutor. So like I said, your student profile form is really important as it tells your tutor what you're hoping to learn, so they can go and create that syllabus. They use this entirely to create the syllabus. It's really important, but also they use this to gather your email addresses. So what they will do is if they are able to, they will send you an email to introduce themselves and maybe provide any pre-course work. Now, please don't worry if you don't get an email from your tutor. It doesn't mean that you don't have a tutor. It probably means that your tutor is just very busy preparing for your course. All of our tutors either work as a teacher during the term time or they work in the university as a lecturer during the term time. Obviously, we're still in term time at the moment, so they're still working their full-time job as well as preparing for the course. It may just be that they're a little bit busy at the moment and they don't have time to drop you an email, but don't worry. If you want to know the name of your tutor, you can always send us an email in Student Services and we'll be more than happy to provide that to you. So what have you already received from us? So all of you should have received a visa support letter. For those of you that need a visa, you will have used this in support of your visa application. But it's really important that all students, whether you have a visa or not, still print off this visa support letter and have it with you when you fly, just in case when you arrive at the border and you're sort of giving your passport over, if anyone stops you and says, why are you coming to the UK? You can produce this visa support letter and say, look, I have this visa support letter, this invitation from Oxford Summer Courses, and I'm coming for this course. And the visa support letter says where you'll be staying and the course dates. And it also has my contact number on there. So if there are any issues, the authorities can contact me. You will have already been sent an email with your location information. So it will tell you where your course is going to be delivered from. And it also has a postal address on there, just in case any of your family are also traveling with you and they want to get a hotel nearby. They can use that postal address as a location to where the course will be delivered from. But for those students that are making their own way to the course, please don't use this postal address as the directions for where you need to arrive. You will receive a specific email with your arrival information, and it will have maps linked with a pin dropped exactly where you need to arrive to. Some of the colleges in the schools might have multiple entrances on different sides of the roads. So it's really important that you use the instructions in that email. So a packing list. A lot of you, I'm sure, are wondering what to pack. You already have a sample packing list in your student welcome pack. So log into the student portal, go to My Documents, and there is a document there called My Welcome Pack. Go into this document. It's a really big document with lots of important information. So if you haven't already read it, I really urge you to. And then inside there is a sample packing list for you. But some of the things that I think are the most important would be some spending money. Obviously, your parents have worked very, very hard to be able to send you on this course. Maybe it's nice to buy them a little present of your time with us. So you could maybe buy them a t-shirt that has the University of Oxford logo on, or maybe some an English teddy bear or a London bus or something, a little bit of a souvenir for you to remember your time with us. So maybe ensuring you've got your spending money all packed is a good way to go. And also for those students that are in the 16 to 17 or 18 to 24 age group, lunch is not included in your course. So you will need to have lunch money as well throughout the duration of your course. All students that are in the juniors or 13 to 15 age group, lunch is included in your course, so you don't need to worry about lunch money. Additionally, chargers and adapters, really, really important. If you travel and you don't have a phone charger or a laptop charger, or you bring your chargers but you don't have a plug. In the UK, we use a 3-pronged plug. So it looks a little bit like this, okay? If your plug is different to this, you need to buy an adapter so your plug will work. I'm sure all of you are able to access Amazon. If you simply search UK plug adapter, you'll be able to get one, and that means that you'll be able to plug your plug into the adapter and then use our plug sockets. Medication and toiletries. It's really important that you remember your medication, obviously, just so that you are safe. If you have any allergies, you bring your EpiPen. Toiletries, again, toiletries will not be supplied, so make sure you have your shower gels and your shampoos and deodorants. If you are traveling without them or you forget them, please, please, please tell us as soon as possible. It may be that students before you have left some shower gel and we're able to give that to you, or we can organize a visit to a local shop so that you can buy some. And then suitable clothing. At the moment in the UK, we're not really having much of a summer. I can't remember it getting above 20 degrees Celsius. Today, it's been 13 degrees Celsius and sort of overcast all day. But that doesn't mean it can't change very, very quickly. Last year, we had a summer of around about 30 degrees, 35 degrees Celsius. And I know that some of you will be thinking that's not hot. We have that in our winter time. the UK is very, very different. The heat is different, and we don't have air conditioning. It's not common to have air conditioning at all. So just make sure you've got suitable clothing for the heat, but also pack a waterproof. Just a thin waterproof that you can throw in your backpack and have in case of emergencies. Maybe a small packable umbrella as well, just in case. The worst thing we want is for you to go out on an excursion in the morning and it be glorious sunshine, but then 3 o'clock, the rain comes and you get absolutely drenched. And also remember a formal outfit for your graduation and formal meal. So on the final Friday of your course, every single course will have a graduation ceremony for the students. It's a really nice time for you to dress up, have a sit-down 3-course meal in a formal hall at the college or the school. You'll get to interact with your course mates, the on-course staff, your tutors, and there will be pictures of this taken and put onto the student portal for you to use. So please remember to bring a formal outfit. And when we say a formal outfit, it's entirely up to you. Whatever you think is appropriate. There are pictures on our website of students in full-on tuxedos, but a nice pair of trousers and a shirt, or a nice dress or a nice top and a skirt is absolutely fine. It's whatever you feel comfortable in. The last thing we want is for a student to forget their formal outfit and only have a t-shirt and shorts for the formal ceremony and feel uncomfortable. It's not mandatory to dress up. It's absolutely your choice. If you're comfortable in t-shirts and shorts, then crack on. We're all for that. But it's obviously, we don't want you to feel uncomfortable if everybody else is dressed in a certain way. And then finally, what you have received from us, the student rules. So the student rules are in your student handbook, which again, you will find on the student portal. Go to My Documents and then click Student Handbook. We're not expecting you to remember all of the student rules, but the student rules are there not because we love rules, but because we want to keep you safe when you're with us. So please familiarize yourself with the rules. Make sure you know what you can and can't do. It's really disappointing for us when a student arrives on course and they do something and they say, well, I didn't know that this was a rule. You will have a welcome talk with your course director on the first day of your course, and they will go through all of the rules. They will explain them to you. They're not strict. It's a summer school. We want you to have fun, but importantly, we want you to be safe. So all of the rules are there to keep you safe. That is the main reason for them. So if you break these rules, it can be, it can be quite severe, because it's your safety at the end of the day that we're trying to protect here. So top tips for travel. Number 1, have all of your important documents printed and in your hand luggage. If you have a visa support letter and you are stopped at security, security is obviously before you get to baggage reclaim. And if your visa support letter is in your suitcase, you obviously can't then produce this for the authorities. So make sure you've got anything that's important, anything that you need printed and in your hand luggage, so you can produce it before you get to your suitcase. Ensure before you get on the flight, maybe the day before, you've got the contact number of the team member that you will be meeting. So either this will be the airport transfer manager if you're just taking our transfer. Make sure you've got that saved just in case you get stuck, or your bags are taking a while to come through, or you can't find us in the airport. You can give that number a call and we'll be able to help you. If you're traveling as an unaccompanied minor you'll be given the supervisor's phone number and name. Make sure that you have this to hand. You should have already shared this with the airline, so they will have it, but make sure you also have it as well, just in case anything goes wrong. You can contact us. Or if you're making your own way to the college, you will be sent again the course director's phone number in advance. Make sure you've got that to hand, just in case you can't find the entrance or you're going to be delayed arriving. If you're making your own way to the college, it's really, really important. If you're going to be later than 1 hour after the time that you've said on your travel form you're going to arrive by, just send them a text just to say, hi, my name is Ben. I said I was going to be there for 3. We're stuck in traffic. I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock. This just gives our team at the colleges and at the schools an idea of what's happening with you. We're not panicking, thinking that something has happened. But additionally, let's say you said you were due to get there for 6:30, which would have been fine. We could have got you in and wished you straight in for your dinner, but you're not going to be there till 8 o'clock and you haven't told us. We don't know to go and hold some food back for you. We don't know when you're coming. So if you give us the heads up that you're going to be late. We can be better prepared and make sure that your arrival goes a lot more smoothly. That being said, the airport transfer manager and the unaccompanied minor supervisor and the course director are all there on your arrival day to help you and to be responsible on responding on the phones in case of emergencies. So I'll jump ahead here just to the second to last point. Only contact the airport transfer manager, unaccompanied minor supervisor, or course director on the arrival date in the event of an emergency. If you have had chocolate for your lunch, and you shouldn't have because you've been away from your parents and all you've eaten is chocolate, that's not an emergency. As much as we would love to have a chat with you, we don't need you to call and tell us what you're having for lunch. Think about your course mates. There may be a student somewhere that has lost their luggage, that is panicking because they've lost all of their 2 weeks worth of clothes, and they're calling that number and they can't get through because you've called to tell them that you've had chocolate for your lunch. So only call that number in the event of an emergency. It's really, really, really important. Make sure you've got a phone charger or portable charger with you in case your flight's delayed. Everybody uses their phones nowadays when they're on a flight. They're listening to music or they're watching Netflix. It's not uncommon for you to charge your phone up when you leave the house. You watch your films on the long-haul flight, and then when you arrive, your phone dies. And then suddenly your luggage is lost and you can't contact us. So make sure you've got that phone charger or portable phone charger with you, just in case your phone does die before you get to us. But also, excuse me, you might land and meet us and want to just call home to call your parents and say, hey, I'm with Oxford Summer Courses. I found them. I'm going to Oxford now. If your phone's died, maybe your parents start to panic. So just make sure you've got that charger with you. Excuse me. So have some money available to you in case you want to buy a snack at the airport. Some of you will be coming off really long haul flights and you might not have eaten for a few hours. So maybe you want to just have 10 or 20 pounds available to you, either on a card or either in cash, just so you can grab a bottle of water and a packet of crisps just before you hop on that transfer to your course location. Again, only contact the airport transfer manager, unaccompanied minor supervisor, or course director on the arrival date in the event of emergency. Worth noting as well, the airport transfer manager, so that number that gets sent via email, the unaccompanied minor supervisor, the number that gets sent by email, those phones are only working during the departure days and the arrival days. If you try and contact those numbers midway through your course to find out when you're leaving, you won't get an answer. They are there solely for the arrival and the departures. The course director, on the other hand, is obviously contactable at any time during your course with us. Please, again, don't call the course director when you're not due to arrive until the 11th of August now to say, hi, my name's Ben, I just wanted to have a chat and introduce myself. As much as they would love to have a chat with you, they will be busy dealing with students and making sure those students at the time being are as safe as possible and have the best course as possible. And then finally, remember that our team will be at London Heathrow Airport from 8 a.m. on the arrival day. So it's not a problem if your flight lands before 8 a.m. because obviously you've then got all day and all the transfers that are running, but we will not be there until 8 a.m. So if you do arrive before 8 a.m., that's absolutely fine. Come through security as normal, maybe pop to Starbucks and grab yourself a coffee and a croissant, have a sit down and relax, and just wait until 8 o'clock. Our team will arrive, and then you can go over to them and say, hi, my name's Ben. I landed at 5:30. I've already grabbed a coffee. I'm ready to get on my transfer, and we can whisk you away off on your transfer off to your course location. So top tips to make the most of your course. This sounds really obvious, and it sounds like I'm being very boring, but make sure you get enough rest. You will fly in or you will drive in if you're based in the UK on the Sunday. Your course starts, your lesson starts straight away on a Monday morning. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. You have an action-packed schedule from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, depending on your age, every single day. You will be exhausted unless you get your sleep. And equally, your lessons will be impacted if you're staying up half the night, chatting to your friends or playing on your phones. Really, really important that you get your sleep. So packing list, I've touched on this. The weather in the UK is very unpredictable. Those in the room that are from the UK and are coming to this course will be able to tell you we've not had much of a summer at the moment, but it does change fast. So please, if you're coming from abroad, make sure that you are aware to bring a jumper, a waterproof, maybe a small umbrella, and especially that formal outfit, just so you're feeling your best and looking your best, ready for the graduation. Ensure you complete all the work set by your tutor. It seems really obvious, but it's a summer school at the end of the day. You're here to learn. That work set by your tutor, your homework, it's either there to build on whatever subjects have just been taught in that session or to help prepare you for the next session that's coming. So it may be you're given a paper to read. It's not a case of just reading that the next day over breakfast when you're talking to your friends and you're skimming through it. Have a read through it, use the study time that we allocate to you in your session, in your timetables, and go through the work that's been set. You get the most out of this course when you put the most in, okay? So make sure you're completing all the work set by your tutor. And whilst we're on your tutor, ask questions. I said earlier that your tutors are either lecturers at the universities during the term time or they're teachers at schools in the UK. They're spending their summer to continue teaching. They love teaching. If you ask them questions and challenge them and want to go deeper into a topic, they will love you. Don't be scared. It's not like normal school where you're maybe a little bit scared to ask questions because your tutor doesn't have the time. Our class sizes are set to no more than 8 students in the 13 and above age group, or no more than 15 students in the juniors age group. We have small classes so that you can get the attention that you need to go through these topics. So ask questions. If you're unsure, maybe there's a word in English that you're not used to that translation, you've never heard that word before, ask. Your chances are there will be somebody else sat in your classroom that also is a little bit confused but is too embarrassed to put their hand up. Don't be embarrassed. Your tutor is there to help you and they want you to ask questions. Get involved in every session. Some of the things will be new to you. Some of the things you maybe read and go, that doesn't sound cool. I don't want to do that. A lot of it will be new to you. It may be that you've got a debate class that's organized and you think, well, I don't want to do debate. Why would I need debate? I promise you, debate is it's sanctioned arguing. You get to argue your point. You will love it. Put everything into the courses, get involved in every single session, whether that be your academic sessions, whether that be your activities, your excursions, or maybe the master classes if you're in certain age groups, or the visits that you have from business professionals. Get involved, ask questions, and really do try your best in all the sessions to get the most out of this course. So the on-course team, when we say the on-course team, this is anyone that's not a tutor that's on the course with you. So it's your course director, your course coordinator, your course leaders. They are there to help you, to keep you safe and to make sure you have the best time. It's really disappointing for me at the end of the summer when I have phone calls with parents and students and they say the course was absolutely fantastic, but it was really disappointing that our window wouldn't open. If we'd have known on day one, if you'd have said, I'm really sorry, I have a problem, my window doesn't open, we could have moved your room or we could have spoken to the college or the school and got what we call porters to come and fix that for you. Their maintenance team could have come in and fixed that and you would have had an even better time. So if there is a problem, let us know, tell us. We can only fix things if you tell us. Nobody is going to be angry if you're not enjoying something. If you've joined business and it's really not for you, after the first 1 or 2 days, come and talk to us. Tell us that you're not enjoying business. Maybe there's a subject or a space we have in another subject that we can move you into, but we won't know unless you tell us. And then, as I've said, remain engaged. The Oxford Summer Courses is in its 15th year this summer. There is a lot of experience. As I said, I've been working for summer schools since I was 15. So that's I'm coming up to my 14th year. For those of you that can do the maths on how old I am. All of the course has been tried and tested and tweaked, and this is the best course that we can possibly put on for you. But you will only get the most out of it if you remain engaged in every single element of the course. So try your hardest, remain engaged, ask questions, get involved. And if something could be better, tell us. we're open to suggestions from you. So if actually you would rather do something else, if you don't fancy going and having a picnic in the park, tell your on-course team and say, actually, we don't want to go for a picnic in the park. We prefer to go bowling. If nothing's been organised and paid for, and we've not already bought all of the food for your picnic, the on-course team will take you bowling. Last year was a big year for cinema. We had the Oppenheimer movie and the Barbie movie came out in the cinema. A lot of students were excited for one or two of these films. There wasn't too many people that was excited for both, but the students told our on-course team, hey, we're actually missing the release of the Barbie movie or the Oppenheimer movie. Can we go and watch it? The on-course team went away and we bought every single student tickets to go to the movies and we took you to the movies. If there's something that you want to do or something that you don't particularly want to do, tell us. And if we can, we will try to make your course better for you. Remain engaged, give us feedback and try your best whilst you're on course. So, skip that one. That's all that I have in terms of information from myself. We can't wait to meet you. As I said, it's Oxford Summer Course's 15th year this summer. We're busy working away in the background, preparing, making this course the best course it can possibly be. If any of you have any questions, please drop them into the chat and I will have a little look in there to see what I can answer for you. And hopefully we've got 20 minutes before the end of this webinar so I can whiz through all of those for you. What I will do is I'll put this slide up. For any of you that I don't get a chance to answer or something else comes to mind, that is the Student Services email just there. So you can contact Student Services and we will get back to you. So let's just have a look at these questions. So Christopher Allen, great question. What is the dress code on normal days? Are there any events that are more formal? So dress code on normal days is whatever you like. There is no dress code. It's whatever the students feel comfortable in. It's not a case of you can't wear football t-shirts or sports t-shirts. You can wear whatever you like. As long as you are comfortable and it's not something that's inappropriate, then that's absolutely fine. You can wear shorts, you can wear t-shirts, you can wear dresses, jeans, jumpers, whatever you like. For the formal event will be on the final Friday, and that is the graduation and formal dinner. If you are to go onto our website, and you'll see pictures here and there of students dressed up in shirts and ties and tuxedos, that's the kind of thing that students are wearing for formals. You don't have to wear a tuxedo. You can wear a shirt and a pair of nice trousers and nice shoes. That's absolutely fine. So someone has said, and it's a great question, how can I share the recording with my daughter who is the student? She is in a summer class this week and unable to attend the webinar. So all of you, after this webinar in the next few days, will receive an email with a link to the recording. So what you'll be able to do is just share that link with whoever you want that's not been able to attend, and they'll be able to watch this recording back. So somebody said, how do we confirm that our complimentary transfer is good to go? We filled out our travel form a bit late and would prefer this versus having our daughter find her way there. It's a great question. As long as you have submitted the travel form and you have submitted it with the complimentary transfer and that's been accepted, you can take that as we have booked your transfer. The confirmation will obviously come no less than 2 weeks before the start, no longer than 2 weeks before the start date when you get that email. So you'll get the email that says, here is the airport transfer manager's number. And that lets you know that you have booked yourself onto the complimentary transfer. If you're unsure though, drop us an email and just say, hey, can I just double confirm that everything is okay and we are booked? And we can have a look and make sure we've got that information from you. So do you offer complimentary transfers to and from London City Centre? Unfortunately not, no. We only offer a complimentary transfer from London Heathrow Airport and only on the course start date and the course end date. So somebody said, I am travelling to Oxford via London Heathrow. I want to apply for the complimentary transfer service. However, I am unable to edit the travel form. Can I let know how I can do so? If you have already submitted your travel form and you need to make an amendment, send us an email and we can open that travel form up for you again so you can resubmit that information. Or if you're just having trouble accessing it, again, drop us an email and we can go in and have a look at that account for you. So someone has said, when will we get to know our room accommodations? So you will have been told where your course is being delivered from. So you'll be sent an email that says your course is being delivered from Lady Margaret Hall. Your accommodation is within those colleges. So if it's Lady Margaret Hall, New College, Somerville College, Worcester College, Fitzwilliam, Sydney Sussex, Corpus Christi, Harrow School, St John's Beaumont School, or Eton College, you will have been sent this, and your accommodation is at those university colleges or those schools. Have we planned the excursions? Yes, all of the excursions are already planned and booked and organized. So if you want to know what excursions you're going on, you can always drop us a message. Alternatively, there is a sample timetable within your student handbook. I'm not aware of many changes to the excursion, so you can always have a look on there, and that will give you an idea of the type of thing that we are taking you on. There's a question here, is there a gym? Unfortunately not, no. There will be no gym facilities at any of the colleges or schools. So there's a question here, do the rooms have air conditioning? Unfortunately not, no. All of the colleges we are in are really old colleges. Some of the colleges were built in the 1400s. They are older than America, so they don't have air conditioning in. However, we do have a little bit of guidance in terms of how to keep the rooms nice and cool for you. So if the temperatures do start to get warm, we will share this guidance with all the students. Obviously, a lot of us at the Oxford summer courses have been to university at Oxford and Cambridge. So we feel your pain with the rooms. So we've learned tips and tricks to keep your room nice and cool. You said based on the study material, which is better, computer or iPad? It's entirely up to you. Both do the same thing in our opinion. You're both able to write and research, so it's entirely up to you. And then do the rooms have a refrigerator? Not all of them, no. Not all of the rooms will have a refrigerator. In fact, it's more common that they don't have a refrigerator than they do. So great question here. Just confirming we don't need to pack bed sheets. Yes, this is correct. For all of our sites, bed linen will be included. So if you are in Oxford or Cambridge, you will get a towel, a bath towel or shower towel, and all of your linen, your bed linen, so your pillows, your duvets and bed sheets is all included. If you are at Eton, Harrow or St John's Beaumont, your bed linen is all included, but you do need to bring a towel. So someone has said, hello, I chose economics and finance as my first choice, but I got put into business. Is there any possibility that I could transfer? The chances are, if you applied for economics and finance as your first choice, but you were put into business, there was no availability into economics and finance, and that's why you were given your second choice. But if you want to drop us an email and just let us know your name, we can certainly double check that for you. So someone has said, hi, I arrive a couple of days earlier with my parents. Would it be possible to use the airport transfer as they leave on the day that I start the course and they could drop me off at the airport if I signed up for it? So yes. What you can do, if you've already submitted your travel form, send us an email and we can open that for you. You can input the travel form to say that you will arrive on the course start date, so let's say the 7th of July, and then you can put into the airline number, airline details. You can add in that you will be meeting us at Terminal 2 at 10 o'clock, but send us an email and we'll be able to help you with that. So great question. I just wanted to know if we have to wear formal outfits for every day for dinner. No, it's just for the formal dinner on the last Friday of the course. The rest of the course, you can wear whatever you want. So do you need to carry a laptop for the course since I've enrolled in innovation technology? We would strongly advise if you've enrolled in innovation technology, you bring a laptop, but it's not mandatory for any of the subjects. But if it helps you study and do your research, then yes, please do bring a laptop. So I have a question here. We have a sibling who is going to a separate college. How would the transport work then? It depends on which college. So if both colleges are in Oxford, and you're flying at the same time, you will still take the same transfer and it will take you to one college, then to the next college. If your sibling is based in Cambridge and you're based in Oxford, you will take separate transfers. Oxford and Cambridge are about 2.5 hours from each other. So one will go to Cambridge and one will go to Oxford. Good question about premium rooms there from an anonymous attendee. Do people with premium rooms get bigger rooms? On the whole, no. The only difference between a standard room and a premium room has an ensuite bathroom. So they will have a bathroom inside their bedroom. So the chances are their bedrooms will actually be smaller because they actually have to have the bedroom area and the bathroom. The standard rooms are just a standard single bedroom, and then you will have shared access to bathroom facilities. Yes, a washing machine is available at all of the course locations. In the colleges, it will either be an app that you download to pay on an app, or you tap your card onto a machine. How can you access the student portal? So every single student has been emailed an invite email to click a link and create their account. If you have misplaced that email, please send student services an email and we can create that account for you and send you the login details. So Victoria has asked, I'm a US citizen. What is the visa process I need to follow? Victoria, you don't need a visa if you're a US citizen. If you Google UK visa, you will be able to double check that. But I can tell you categorically, you do not need a visa as a US citizen. So when will we get to know our subject mates, if any? As I said earlier on in the presentation, you will get access to the network, the student network. So when you get access to that, that will be all of your course mates, and you'll be able to say, hi, my name is Ben. I am studying business. Who else is studying business? And people will be able to comment on your post, and you'll be able to meet your course mates in advance. So Sarah, you can actually have a look at the schedule on the student portal rather than me describing the typical day. I'm conscious we've only got 9 minutes left and a lot of questions. So if you log into the student portal and you go to either the student welcome pack or the student handbook, there are timetables in there and they are very indicative of what a day looks like for a student. So Gabriella, you will get a recording of this webinar sent to your email address. So all of the university bedrooms, I can see there's a question here about single rooms. All of the university bedrooms, so courses in Oxford or Cambridge, they are single bedrooms. And then Eton College is single bedrooms. Harrow is singles with some twin rooms. And then St. John Beaumont's is a big room with separate little cubicles for bedrooms. So it's sort of single privacy areas, but all in one big room. Zinu, you have said, are there any places to buy UK phone cards and how could I change my departure information? Yes, you can buy SIM cards from most local stores in the UK and the OnCourse team will be able to help you with that. And then how can you change your departure information? If you need to change it, send us an email. We can open up your travel form and you can resubmit it. I can see a lot of people here asking about the schedule and how many classes will occur. You all have a schedule in your student welcome pack and your student handbook. Please go in and read these documents. I didn't spend hours and hours and hours and hours in the wintertime to make these documents just because I like making documents. They're there for you to help you log into your student portal, go to your welcome pack, go to your handbook and have a read through the information. Jordan, I can see you've asked about your children wanting to play tennis. Unfortunately, we don't have access to tennis courts at all of the sites. At some of the sites, we may be able to take students to a local park and it might be an activity that we put on and we play tennis. It just depends on the location and also whether we are able to facilitate getting access to a tennis court. But typically, the university colleges won't have a tennis court. Some of the boarding schools will have tennis courts. A good question here, how much money should I carry if I'm between the ages of 13 to 15? The short answer there is it's entirely up to you. I can't make a recommendation because I don't know what you're going to be buying. You're 13 to 15, so lunch is included, so you don't need lunch money. So you need to maybe think about what you want to buy. You will get time to go and we will give you some free time in a shopping center. So maybe you want to buy some souvenirs. We would recommend no more than £200, £250. But I am aware of students in the past that have travelled with a big list of everything that they need to buy their parents. And so they go and they spend thousands of pounds because they're buying Chanel bags for their great aunt. So Rodrigo, you said, where can I print the visa letter? You have been emailed the visa letter directly, but you can also go onto your student portal and download it again, and then you'll be able to print it. Great question, Jose. What do we need to bring if you are traveling alone besides the passport and the Oxford letter? If you are traveling alone and you are under the age of 18, we would recommend that you have a letter from your parents and guardians, and that's both parents and both guardians, that documents that they give you consent to travel alone. They are allowing you as a minor, someone under 18, to travel. Other than your passport, your visa letter, your visa itself, and this permission to travel, you shouldn't need anything else. So Mohammed, you've asked a great question there. For students that are international students, could we have a step-by-step process that can help tell us what we should do through the flight process? You will get this if you have booked onto our complimentary transfer. If you have said you need us to collect you at the airport, there is a step-by-step guide about what to do. But essentially, there's only one way to go when you get off a plane. You follow the crowd. They will go to the security. You go through security. You collect your luggage. You come out into the entrance hall, and straight ahead of you will be someone stood there in Oxford Summer Courses uniform. Another great question here. Will we be able to see our children at the graduation? Unfortunately not, no. So there is a capacity due to the size of the colleges and the schools. And so parents will not be invited or able to attend the graduations. It's just for the students and the tutors. Jules, another great question. Can parents avail of the complimentary transfer with their children? Unfortunately not, no. The complimentary transfer is just for students. Now, the reason we do this is we will separate anyone that is over 18 with anyone that is under 18. So we will have a sort of children aged transfers and over 18. So it's a safeguarding precaution to make sure that no student is ever with anyone over the age of 18 that we don't know is safe to be with those students. Amelia, you said that your birth date is mistaken. Please just send us an email to Student Services and we'll be able to change that for you. So Chitwin, you've said siblings are going together, our brother and sister. How much can they communicate until what time at night? Obviously, they can talk to each other throughout the day when they're in the same classes or in the same activities. In the evening, though, there will be a firm lights out for all students, and that varies depending on the course age group. And at that point, all students must be in their rooms. Like I said earlier, really important that students get their rest. So our on-course team will be quite strict with ensuring that no students are out in the corridors and they are back in their rooms. You need your sleep during the course. Like I said, it's jam-packed from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. So Alessandro, you've asked what equipments are necessary, like a computer or an iPad. Like I said earlier, it's entirely up to you. We won't say that it is required to have a tablet or a computer, but if you feel you would be able to do the course better, be able to do the work better on a computer, then do bring it. Vincent, good question. Is there any free time in the afternoon or at night for 16 plus students to go into Oxford Town individually or with friends? No. A 16-year-old in the UK is a child. You are in a foreign country. We will not allow you at all to leave the course the course area on your own, especially at night. When you are allowed to leave the colleges, so to go out for lunch, you will have to leave in groups of 3 or more students so that we know that you are safe together, and we will have team members that are potentially going with you just to make sure that you're okay. I appreciate that you're 16, but unfortunately in the UK, you are still treated as a child. Whilst you're on our courses, we take the roles of your parents, so that we are responsible for you. And I'm sure your parents would also like us to be responsible for you as well. So you won't be allowed to just leave the course location and wander off into Oxford. Okay, so I'm going to flick over to the other channel here. I can see there's lots of questions. So Julia, great question. You said, do we have to give up our cell phones? So for any junior student, so any student at Eton, Harrow, or St. John's Beaumont, we have a mobile phone policy in which we will take the mobile phones from the students, we will keep them safe, and students will get 1 hour supervised access a day with their phones. The reason for this is in previous years, when we've had junior students that have taken their phones to bed with them, they have stayed up all night calling parents. It really affects them the next day. And also, whenever the students have a little bit of free time to play, we found that students were just sitting and playing on their phones and playing games and not interacting with each other. And that's not what our courses are about. So for any student at Eton College, St. John's Beaumont, or Harrow School, the course directors will look after the phones, and then each day you will get access to your phones. But that's not to say for parents that you can't call that course director anytime you want and have an update. The course director will send you regular updates about the progress of the course. For any students that are at the University of Oxford or the University of Cambridge, we will not take your phones off you. You will have them with you at all times. I can see a question here about 18 plus students and whether they're allowed to leave. If you're 18 plus, you are an adult, you will be allowed to leave the course. However, for fire safety, you can't just come and go as you please. We need to know who is on site and who isn't on site at all times. If you're 18 and you leave the course and there is a fire in a building, and according to our records, you are in that building, I'm going into that building to get you out. If you're not there because you've left and you haven't told us, that's not fair on me and my family that I've risked my life to save yours when you're not even there. So for fire safety for the 18s to 24s, yes, you're allowed to leave, but you have to tell us when you're leaving and when you're coming back so we know where you are. Additionally, you won't be allowed to leave and miss academic sessions because that's part of your course. Excuse me. If you do leave and you're not turning up to classes, you won't get your letter of recommendation and certificate at the end. Arnav, great question. At the end of the course, can I book a taxi to go? Can I book a taxi and go on my own as my flight is late at night? I am 17 years old. Yes, you don't have to take our complimentary transfer. If you prefer to take your own transfer, you can absolutely organize this. The only caveat there is on the departure date, all students must be off-site by 12 o'clock midday. So if your flight is late at night, unfortunately, you still have to depart the college at 12 o'clock midday. Jeff, so you've said, I will be turning 18 a couple of weeks after the program. Will I be treated the same way as a 16-year-old? So in our eyes, you're 17 on the course, so you're not 18 yet. So the 16 and 17-year-olds are in the same age group. So yes, you will be treated as you are currently are aged. You'll be treated as a 17-year-old. In the UK, a 17-year-old is still a child, and therefore you'll be treated that way as well. But that's not to say you'll be treated like a child. We appreciate you're 16, 17, so you will have more freedoms than the 13 to 15s and a lot more freedoms than the 9 to 12s. Okay, we're running a little bit over here, so I'll just pick out a few more questions that I can see. I can see here, if my children get sick during the course, he is 10 years old, will you have doctors? So all of our on-course team are first aid trained in the event of emergencies. However, if a child gets sick, in the UK, we have a system where we can dial 111, and it's not like an emergency 999 where an ambulance comes, but instead we get through to a doctor on the end of the phone, and we can give them the symptoms. And then maybe if they say, okay, they need to go to see a doctor, we will take that child to a doctor. So Anita, you said, is it possible to choose the premium room? You have chosen the premium room when you were applying for your course. If you want to just confirm whether you have that, send us an email and we'll be able to have a double check for you. So Yana, you've said, I'm doing my course in Cambridge and I have a couple of friends who live there. Would I be able to meet up with them in my free time? The answer here depends on your age. If you are 18 to 24, then by all means, you'll be able to leave the course location and go out in the evenings and the afternoons to meet your friends. If you are under 18, then unfortunately not. As I've said, you are still a child in the UK, and therefore we have certain rules to keep you safe. We don't just want you wandering around. You're in a foreign country, you're in a foreign city, you don't know your surroundings. We have to keep you safe. Acme, great question. Do we need to bring the laundry detergents? Yeah, you might want to buy laundry detergents once you arrive there, so you don't have a heavy bag of laundry detergent in your suitcase. But all of the local shops in Oxford and Cambridge sell this. Rima, is it possible for students to play sports? So at all of our course locations, we will have activities. It might be that one of the afternoons we do a sports day. For the juniors, so at Eton, Harrow and St. John's, there will be sports that run several times a week. So yes. Manuel, you've asked, you're staying at Somerville, do you need a towel? I'll make this really clear for everybody again. If you are at the University of Oxford or the University of Cambridge, you will have bed linen and a towel. If you are at St. John's, Eton or Harrow, you will need to bring a towel, but bed linen is provided. Mario, you've said, if I am traveling to the course with a friend, what's the process to have your rooms next to each other? Just send us an email and say, my name is Mario and my friend's name is this. Can we request to have our bedrooms next door to each other? We can then put this onto your account and make sure that if it's possible, we action that request. So Valeria, great question. If we didn't submit our travel form because we didn't have the information yet, can we still use the transportation? It depends when you submit the travel form. The cutoff is 4 weeks before the course start date. 4 weeks before the course start date, if you cannot tell us when you will be arriving and when you'll be departing, unfortunately, there are others on the course that have been able to provide us this information. So we need to be able to start organizing those transfers and confirming to those students that have booked it that that we've booked their transfer and giving them information about their arrival. So as long as you can submit that arrival 4 weeks before the start date, that information 4 weeks before your course start date, we can book you onto transfer. If it's shorter than 4 weeks to your start date, then send us an email and we can have a look to see if we can slot you in. Raya, I can see you've asked, do you have roommates? It completely depends on which location you're in. As I've already said, University of Oxford, University of Cambridge are all single rooms. Eton is all single rooms. Harrow has some single rooms and some twin rooms. And then St. John's Beaumont has one big dormitory style room with little cubicles of bedrooms and a curtain that you can make for privacy. Ava, you've said, what does accompanied by the staff for the first 48 hours entail? I love that question because that tells me that you've been reading both the student handbook and the student welcome pack. For the first 48 hours of your course, if you are in the 13 to 15 age group, 16, 17 or 18 to 24, you are in an alien location. You've maybe never been to the city of Oxford or city of Cambridge, and so you don't know your surroundings yet. So for the first 48 hours, our team will be with you whenever you go outside the course location. After the first 48 hours, if we have assessed that the students on your course are responsible, they are safe when they're out and about, and they are listening to our instructions and our guidance, we will start to step back a little. So for 16, 17s, it may be that you can go out for lunch without someone taking you to a local cafe. It may be that during your downtime for 16, 17s, if you've got a free period in the afternoon, that we do allow you in a group of students to go out to the local area, to the shops. For 13 to 15s, it may be that we take you to a location in the city centre and we give you some free time, but we say, okay, you can't go past that shop and you can't go past that shop, but on this road, you're able to have free time. So it's just for the first 48 hours, whilst everything's new to you, we want to make sure that you're safe. Sophie Lascelles has said, is there anything we are not allowed to bring? I could list off a massive list of things you're not allowed to bring, but I would urge you to read the student rules, as obviously that will tell you specifics, what you can and can't bring. Things that come to mind that people have brought in the past. There was one gentleman last year that turned up with a hamster. That's not okay. You can't bring pets. Don't bring your hamster. Don't smuggle your hamster over on the flight. Obviously, anything that's illegal in the UK is illegal. So if you have any knives, any alcohol if you're under 18, any alcohol if you're 18 to 24, the sites won't allow this on the site. Any knives or any weapons, anything that is illegal in the UK is illegal in the UK, so you cannot bring onto the course. So Sean Miller has asked, is there a curfew? Yes, there is a curfew, but it's dependent on the age of the course. So there are activities planned up until, say, 8 o'clock for the juniors. After the 8 o'clock, we then get students ready for bed, and activities will run on until about 9 o'clock, and then the curfew begins. For 13 to 15, 16, 17s, it will be a little bit later. And then obviously for 18 to 24s, there will be guidance of when you should be going to bed, but you're 18 to 24, you're an adult, you're expected to manage your own time responsibly. Okay, so I'll just whisk through a final few here as we're running over slightly. Vigo, you said, do the single rooms come with TVs? No, you will not have access to a TV. It's 2 weeks. I'm sure you can go 2 weeks without watching television. You're on a summer school to learn. You don't need to be watching television. And the only time that you will get during your course from 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock to go back to your room and watch TV will be after 10 o'clock when you should be going to sleep anyway. So Asen, do you guys recommend Revolut Junior debit card? I'm just looking for my wallet because yes, we do. I have a Revolut. It's wonderful. If anybody else is traveling from abroad, excuse me, and is able to open up a Revolut travel card, they are perfect. You are able to upload money from as a parent onto the card, and then it converts to the local currency. If the card is lost, you can go on the app and automatically stop the card. You can pay via Apple Pay. So yes, we do recommend Revolut, and card is accepted everywhere in the UK. So Lam has said, do we sit any test or exam? No, absolutely not. Oxford Summer Courses doesn't believe that you should have tests and exams during summer school. We want you to be free of the pressure of exams and term time stress. This is a fun course, but it's where you get to learn what you want to learn, not what the government says you have to learn for an exam. That's why we have the student profile form, where you get to submit what you want to learn. And then from that, we create the course. We're not going to have a test or an exam because we want you to learn and not just learn things that you can recite for an exam. So I think we'll call it there as it's 12 minutes past 6. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of your questions, but as you can see here is the Student Services email address. Any questions that you might have, please send us an email. To recap, bed linen, as this one came up a lot, is supplied at every single site. Towels are supplied at the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge. They are not supplied if you are in the juniors. If you have booked the complimentary transfer, you will get the email to tell you your arrival informations. And I've just seen, sorry, one more question that I want to address because it's quite a good question. For Cambridge, are we allowed to stay in someone else's dorm? No, absolutely not. Your bedroom is your bedroom. It is your safe space to go in and sleep. If we find that there are students going into each other's rooms after curfew, depending on your age, and B, your gender, that is grounds for you to be removed from the course. So absolutely not. Your room is your area where you keep your belongings and you sleep. As I said, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, you are full with activities. At 10 o'clock at night, you will go to your bedroom and you're expected to sleep. It may be during the day that if you have a lunch break of an hour, you go back with your friends and you play cards in your room, absolutely fine. But obviously after curfew, you're supposed to be in your room alone. So you're not allowed to sleep in other people's rooms. And then Joshua, again, I'll address this one. Will the curfew be enforced for 18 plus students? You're an adult at 18 to 24. We will have times when we suggest you are back on site, but if you are out, you are an adult and we expect you to manage your time yourself. The exception here is you need to pay attention to when the gates will close for college entrance. Some of the colleges lock their gates at a certain time. So if you are out, you will not be able to get back in. So we don't enforce it, but we strongly recommend that you do listen to us because you're here to learn. Last thing, because good questions keep popping in, who will keep the passports for students aged 15? So for all juniors students, all students aged 13 to 15s, we will take the passports, we will keep them in a safe, and then at the end of the course, we will hand them back. For 16, 17s and 18 to 24s, we offer this if you don't want to look after your passport, but we don't take the passports from you. So you will be responsible for them unless you give them to us. Right, there's our email address. If you have any questions or anything wasn't clear, please send us an email and we can get back to you as soon as possible. You will all receive a recording of this email as well. So you can go back and review it. But please, please, please reach out to us if you have any questions. And finally, we are really, really, really excited to welcome you all onto our courses over the summer. We hope you have a wonderful time with us. I'm sure you will. We've been doing this for 15 years. Like I said, we've had thousands of students come through our doors, and we are really, 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 truly excited to have you. Thank you for joining. You'll get the recording via email, but now it's 6:15, and so I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.